So, I have a legendary, only one right now. I have started working on my next legendary. But the legendary I have is the Bifrost, and it's this staff that makes rainbowies. It's pretty awesome. It makes rainbow come out of me when I'm running around, and it leaves little, kind of hard to see little footprints. And basically, my Bifrost, I crafted it from scratch all the way up. It was expensive. I did not have all of the materials when I went to craft it, so that sucked because it is expensive to buy them all. I started this out with maybe like 50 maximum of the T6 mats. Um, most of them less than 50 of them, and I had about 300 elderwood logs and yeah, like almost nothing. I did get some of my mystic clovers from doing World vs. World. I think of like 30 of them, and then the rest of them I had to make myself. Like a lot of the components for doing the legendary, almost all of them basically I had to get myself. On top of that, you know, you gotta get the recipe. The recipe you get right here from Grandmaster Craftsman Hobbs. Um, the Bifrost is right here, Bifrost one, and so you just buy that up, and then you'll have to come back to him again later for more recipes. But basically, this is where everything starts: is buying it from him. Another thing I guess I should mention is you cannot buy the recipes from the legendary craftsman unless you have already gotten yourself some mastery points placed into legendary crafting. You do not have to get all the way up to maximum to be able to craft the Bifrost. You only have to get all the way up to maximum to be able to craft Heart of Thorns legendaries, but still you're gonna have to put in at least to here if you want to buy the recipes. So once you buy it, it'll unlock under your legendary weapons collections the ability to make it. Now I've already made it, so it's way down here at the bottom, and you can see which one I'm starting on next. Anyway, um, I'm just basically gonna show you some of the things that were a little annoying to find or to go to and figure out while I made it. So the first thing is I always read an achievement whenever I do any achievement at all. I read it so that I know what I'm going to. So for instance, this one right here says leave a tribute of 100 piles of bloodstone dust at a kenning in Wayfarer Foothills. And then right over here is pilfered from the guys at Wayfarer Foothills. So the thing is if you're gonna already be at this place here, then you might as well kill all the guys there. So I'm not doing these in order of achievement, I am doing these in order of what was easiest for me to do. The other thing to really be aware of before you get too crazy started into this is making it is expensive, but it can be less expensive. So if you come in here to the trading post, say you want to put in elderwood since you're going to need a ton of it. Anywho, so we're going to click on planks and see that they are 572 over here and 691 over here. Do the 572. It means you're going to have to wait a couple of seconds, but it will save you so much money in the long run if you do a buy order instead of just paying outright by people who are currently selling. Yes, you get it instantly if you buy it over here, but you're going to be spending like 900 gold. You might as well spend that over here. If you want to go ahead and spend 1,000 gold, then you'll be buying stuff over here from current sellers instead of making buy orders. So go ahead and make yourself some buy orders before you start up for things that you're missing. If you're missing components for building it, you will need things like blooming passiflora, carcass shells, again, elderwood, ancient wood, Deldrimore steel, spirit wood planks, T6 mats. The list goes on and on. Anywho, so again, buy from right here on the map, go from Traders Forum, buy your recipe from Legendary Crafters right here. Go down to Trading Post, make your buy orders so that stuff's selling to you even while you're running around in the world, and then go to your bank and grab a whole bunch of bloodstone dust. Before entering Wayfarer Foothills, make sure that before you start your journey to go leave bloodstone dust and get all this Jotun stuff done at the Kennings, that you have 900 bloodstone dust in your pocket. You gotta leave 100 bloodstone dust at a bunch of places, so you might as well already have your bloodstone with you. The bloodstone dust is super easy to get. You can gather a ton of it just by going to Bloodstone Fen and gathering there. You get bloodstone dust pretty easily just in general anyway. So the first kenning that we're going to is right here, Crustor Kenning, and you can see this Grolin Fjord waypoint. If you just go north of it, you'll get to the kenning, and where we want to go is actually in a cave over here, and I will show you that in a sec. So here we are at Crustor Kenning, right here in Wayfarer Foothills, and I just cleared out a bunch of Jotun in here. But basically you want to kill the Jotun because they do drop an item you will need to make your Bifrost, and this is the altar right here where you're going to leave your 100 bloodstone dust. So remember, don't leave this area until you get your other drop from killing guys. So here we are at Ozenfold Shear, and this is actually High Voice and Kenning, however you enunciate it. Ozenfold Waypoint, if you just go north of there, you get here. Again, same thing, kill Jotun. You want to kill the Jotun because, again, they can drop your
time to do some
item for your legendary, and then right over here, this right here is where you're gonna leave your 100 bloodstone dust. This altar right here. Alright, so here we are in Lorner's Pass. Lorner's Pass. All the way down here. And if you come to Avengers Stead Waypoint and go north, this area that says Jotun's Shoulders, this little point of interest, is Grog Shadow Kenning. Grog Shadow Kenning is where you want to go and kill some Jotun, because they do drop something for your legendary, so don't leave till you've killed a whole bunch. And also, you're going to drop 100 bloodstone dust right here at this runestone in this little cave. Alright, I'm in the beautiful Timberline Falls, and I'm by a lovely little area that usually has a lot of platinum ore. Of course, I've already gathered it. Thistlereed Grove. There is a little Jotun village here right in the middle of this. It's right down along the Gentle River. Thistlereed Waypoint is usually contested, so you might want to run north from Balanced Tutory Waypoint. So it doesn't look like much from in the river. But if you come around the corner, there's a bunch of little Jotun that all live in here, and this right here is where you're leaving your 100 bloodstone dust, and you do not have to farm Jotun for this one. This one, it's just drop off your bloodstone dust, and you're all done. So by now you will, if you look at your achievement, notice that the only achievement parts left are all in Dredgehaunt Cliffs. We have completed everything except in Dredgehaunt Cliffs. Dredgehaunt Cliffs is the zone directly south of Holbrick. If you go to Southern Watchpost Waypoint and walk south, you'll be in Dredgehaunt Cliffs. So if you walk just a little further south, you'll come right here to Have Fru Basin Waypoint. Now, when you get here, it doesn't really look like there's much going on because you can barely see the H or the E poking out of this thing, but this thing right here is where you're dropping off your 100 bloodstone dust, and there are no Jotun to kill or farm an item from here. Just drop off the bloodstone dust and you're done. So technically you could just run from after you've done that over here and around, and we're going to end up in here. If you want to waypoint, it's Mountain's Tail waypoint right there, but we're just going to come up and around like this up into Thane Kenning, and we do want to kill Jotun. They do drop an item. So here we are. It's actually the site of a hero challenge, which the hero challenge area is where you're going to be dropping off your bloodstone dust. But remember, you do actually want to, you know, go ahead and kill a bunch of Jotun as well as doing your bloodstone drop off, because it will help you a lot. Because you'll get your drop and you'll get your bloodstone drop off at the same time. And again, this is right here at Thin Kenning. So from here, we're now going to glide down right here, because this is where our next one's going to be. So just run off and glide. And see these two giant things right here? Right here on this one is where you actually will be making your donation. So here we are right on the inside, and you have to run kind of in the middle of where these torches are. Here we go, to the center torch. Okay, so you run to the center torch, and this is where you drop off your bloodstone dust. Hesdelen Kenning waypoint is the waypoint you want. And the main thing is this one also, the Jotun drop you an item that you need for making your Bifrost. So again, for your legendary item, you need to just go ahead and kill a bunch of Jotun, all in this little area, right around these two huge stones right here. And then once you get done with that, we will be moving up inside of here, because that's where our next spot to donate bloodstone is. So you can technically waypoint to Hesdelen Kenning waypoint, but honestly, you are right there and the entrance is right there. Just walk. It's super close. There are some people who love to spam waypoints, but it's really not necessary at this point. There probably won't be presents around when you do it, because Winter's Day probably won't be going on. But so here's the entrance in to go get the ghost stones. So when you come in, you want to go hard to the left, and don't worry about the stupid little imps and stuff. But right inside of here are going to be the ghost stones. So these stones right here. So this is where you're going to drop off your bloodstone dust. So we're leaving out from having gotten the ghost stones, and now we're headed down to the leaning grade. Now, honestly, again, you could technically waypoint to Tor and Hollow waypoint, but it's just a little run down, and you'll get there. So it's not really that much less of a run. So as you come up on the leaning grade, you'll see this big stone right here. To actually get close enough to drop off your bloodstone dust, you do need to actually jump up on it a little bit. I believe right here, actually. Yes, right here. So that you can interact with it and leave your bloodstone dust right here. So, lucky you officially should have every component for your experimental staff to combine them here at the leaning grade and turn everything into one thing. So just combine all the objects that you got from killing Jotun and from leaving bloodstone dust at all these places. You'll end up with another item, and then we're going to continue south. So once again, you can waypoint to still Bracken waypoint, or you can just literally run to right here. But anyways, it's not a long run, or you can waypoint, whichever way suits you. But you'll notice right next to the waypoint is this giant rock, and this is where your final bit is, just south of the leaning grade. So right here is the big rock where you get your achievement finished off. So your legendary weapon, Bifrost, you should end up with laying the star to rest finished right here. And this is it. You can make your experimental staff, and you're all done with Bifrost Volume 1. Congratulations.